I have been cooking my way through the Barefoot Contessa cookbook, and the day I got it I opened up and read the description of the coconut cupcakes and immediately wanted to make it. Unfortunately, I didn't have coconut, so I had to wait until I got the coconut. I'm all set now to make this very large batch of cupcakes. There's quite a lot of ingredients: eggs, sugar, butter. So we're going to start with creaming the butter and the sugar. So I'm going to unwrap the butter here. If your butter is not at room temperature, you can make it creamy enough and soft enough by putting it in the mixer and beating it with the paddle attachment, which is what I'm going to do. And then once that's nice and softened, I'm going to add in the sugar and mix it until it looks like mashed potatoes. And it's nice and light and fluffy. Okay, so I've beaten my butter until it's nice and soft, and now I'm going to add in my sugar. And for the full recipe, you can go to foodnetwork.com or the Garten website for the measurements. I'm just going to stop and scrape down the bowl. Okay, so this is nice and light and fluffy. And I can see that it's mixed through. And there's going to be quite a bit of eggs that go in here. So while this is mixing on low, I'm going to beat these in one at a time. I can see that my eggs are really well emulsified into the butter there. And now I'm going to be adding my extracts. This is supposed to be vanilla and almond, and we are quarantine cooking right now, and I do not have any almond extract, so this is going to just be replaced with full vanilla. Okay, now I have my dry ingredients. I have all-purpose flour, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. And this is going to get mixed together and then sifted in. If you're using kosher salt, make sure that it all gets through the sifter. Now that I'm all sifted together here, I'm going to alternate in thirds my dry ingredients with my wet ingredients. And my wet ingredients is going to be buttermilk. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to try this recipe. I thought that was interesting in the cupcakes, and I'm looking forward to trying that. So I already had added a little bit of the flour. Now I'm going to add in some buttermilk, about 1/3. And the second addition of the dry ingredients. This is to mix until it just combined, so I don't want to overmix. And I'm going to be folding in the coconut. Some of the coconut is going to go into the cupcakes, and some of the coconut is going to go onto the cream cheese frosting as a topping. Now the recipe says that it makes 18 to 20 large ones, and it looks in the picture as if the batter really gets, you fill it all the way to the top and it goes over, but I've had some issues with that in the past, getting them out and cutting them that way, so I'm going to make them smaller, and I'm going to make 24. So I'm going to bake these at 325, and they're probably going to bake a little bit shorter. The recipe says 25 to 35 minutes. I'm going to check them after 15, and then again at 20, because the other ones were a little bit bigger, right? Because I did 24 and the original recipe called for 18 to 20. Okay, and the next step is going to be the cream cheese icing. So I'm going to start with some softened butter, unsalted. And the first thing that I'm going to do is whip up the butter. Okay, and my butter is really nice and creamy. And then I have my cream cheese. And I've had some real problems with cream cheese frosting in the past where you just get lumps that you absolutely cannot get out, so make sure that the cream cheese is soft. Vanilla extract. This again was also supposed to have almond, but I'm just using double the amount of vanilla. And the other step that you do not want to skip is sifting the powdered sugar. And add in my powdered sugar. Okay. Once your powdered sugar is in there, you're going to turn it on slow. I like to kind of do it in the waves. It's a huge deal if your butter and your cream cheese is not at room temperature when you go to make this. It's really miserable. Actually, I really enjoyed using whipped butter this time. I don't usually use that, but I liked it a lot, and it was very successful, and I have a very smooth frosting.